Really cool detail that the Fire Nation covered up the outer walls of Omashu, which used to be made of stone, with metal, which prevents any unwanted escapes or breaches from the outside. It's a detail that's not mentioned once in the entire episode, but it's still necessary for the episode to make sense. Weird that Sokka is shown entering the sewer pipe right after Aang, but then he's at the back of the line so we can get this gag. Sokka, for the love of God, close your mouth. Sokka is shown to be totally without any pentapusses on him in this shot, but then in the next shot they're all over him.
What are you kids doing out past curfew?
Sorry, we were just on our way home.
Wait, what's the matter with him?
It's super weird that the guards notice the back of Sokka's neck that just has a few marks on it, instead of the back of Aang's neck that has a giant solid blue line. Not to mention public enemy number 1 of the Fire Nation is a kid with solid blue line tattoos. Moon continuity. We're at a full moon again here, but has it really been a month since the North Pole? Upon further inspection, and this arrow line from 2 episodes ago.
Who knew floating on a piece of driftwood for 3 weeks with no food or water?
Yeah, it probably has. So, good moon continuity for once.
When tracking your brother and uncle, traveling with a royal procession may no longer be an option, may no longer be wise if you hope to keep the element of surprise.
Why do Lo and Lee go with this toil, boil, and bubble shit here and only here? Would have been a fun gag to have them always rhyming, or it could have gotten really old. Not sure. Regardless, really weird that they only do it here.
There really is no fathoming the depths of my hatred for this place.
Alright, character introduction line analysis time. This might be the one that's even a little bit too on the nose, honestly. Like, yeah, May's a downer, but she's not one to just start spitting slam poetry out of nowhere. Despite that, it still does get her character across in the first line or so. So, mission accomplished.
The targets are approaching.
Take them out.
This is an attempted political assassination. We'll just check that one off the list. Alright, so May throws this volley of like hand arrows or whatever, and Aang dodges. But to dodge, Aang jumps on top of this thing, which is like a 10-foot jump. Red flag, man. Someone must have saw that and been like, dude, no one's got that kind of vertical. That dude's an airbender. Overall, despite her first line being a little funky, this is a great first scene for May. Bored with it all and always looking for something exciting to happen. It's a super interesting character trait that a character can be so bored that they always want something to do, even if that means wanting something to go wrong or needing to fight. The way May sighs at the end of the confrontation is honestly a better first line for May than her actual first line, if you ask me.
Ty Lee, could that possibly be you? Azula!
Ty Lee, on the other hand, has a perfect first line. It's just her saying Azula happily, but the juxtaposition of literally every other person's view of Azula against Ty Lee's tone says a lot. She's bubbly and bright, but your brain fills in the blanks that she's obviously got some shit if she's good enough friends to hug Azula and be on the first on Azula's list to draft into her crack squad.
Certainly our parents didn't send us to the Royal Fire Academy for girls to end up in places like this.
Yeah, great joke, Avatar, but check this out. There's a platypus bear cub in the background here. Weird that the Fire Nation flags around the circus don't have the little strips of cloth coming off them. Maybe it's just a military thing. Also, look at this visual storytelling. We get that Ty Lee is in a circus from the establishing shot, but during her conversation with Azula, she's doing all these crazy poses and stretches, so the viewer immediately gets what she does at the circus. That kind of element would have been lost if they just had a conversation while sitting down for tea, or she would have just had to awkwardly drop it into the conversation, which would have felt a lot weaker. It's the little stuff like this that Avatar does so well.
So, is King Boomy with you guys? Is he leading the resistance?
Of course not. The day of the invasion, we readied ourselves for battle. We were prepared to defend our city, to fight for our lives and for our freedom. But before we even had a chance, King Boomy surrendered.
Boomy's on this whole neutral Jing shit this episode, which is fine, cool lesson, but expecting his entire city to just fall into line and be fine with being annexed and put under mandatory curfews and who knows what else is just bad leadership. Plain and simple. In the end, with him taking back Omashu by himself, it did lead to no casualties on his people's end, but taking himself out of the game until an eclipse he had no idea was coming? I don't know, man. That should have him dethroned at the very least.
You're all about to come down with a nasty case of pentapox.
This is the kind of thing you can only really get away with pulling off in a few minutes in a cartoon. In live action, this would feel pretty silly. So, kudos on using the form of media to your advantage, I guess. This army guide describes thousands of citizens needing to escape.
But there's thousands of citizens that need to leave.
But we never see more than 100 probably. This really doesn't feel like the population of an entire city. Also, no guards anywhere that saw the thousands of citizens congregating in one area, then alerted someone, or even asked what was going on. Why does Aang do these little trapeze steps? It's always weirded me out. Why does he do it? He just jumps up anyway. Why do they have Flopsy pushing a Conan the Barbarian wheel? Is he powering something? Seems like they have plenty of coal power by the looks of the sky. What is Flopsy powering? How the fuck did this kid get up here? Another weird rendition of the Fire Nation theme? I guess it's kind of circusy. Flopsy's little back tuft of fur here, instead of its usual gray, is orange for some reason.
I can't wait to see how you'll top yourself tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Azula, but unfortunately there won't be a show tomorrow.
Really?
The universe is giving me strong hints that it's time for a career change. I want to join you on your mission.
This moment has always struck me a little strangely. I get the ideas that Ty Lee gets that Azula is going to make her life a living hell until she joins the mission. But that's with hindsight. All we really know about Ty Lee at this point is that she's bubbly, believes in stuff like auras, and speaks really cutely. That pretty much adds up to a viewer thinking she's an airhead. So I don't think this moment is clear enough that she actually gets it. And this universe is giving me strong signs line is a coy way of saying that she gets it. It's too easy to think that that's exactly what Ty Lee believes at this point. And she's just dumb. In my opinion, at least.
No! Bad Fire Nation, baby.
Oh my god, Katara just actually fully backhand Sokka here. What the hell, dude?
A messenger hawk.
It's from the Fire Nation governor. He thinks we kidnapped his son. So he wants to make a trade. His son for King Bumi.
That's good.
You stay here. May will handle the hostage trade so you don't have a chance to mess it up. And there is no more Omashu. I am renaming it in honor of my father, the city of New Ozai.
Huh, well that's lucky. We're already making a big Ozai statue. Funny how stuff works out like that.
You brought my brother?
He's here. We're ready to trade.
I'm sorry, but a thought just occurred to me. Do you mind?
Of course not, Princess Azula.
Keep this in mind. May specifically calls her Princess Azula here. I'm gonna bring that up again in a few episodes. This scaffolding battleground is actually a repurposed idea from the unaired Avatar pilot. If you've never seen it, it's on YouTube if you search it up. It's pretty easy to find. Unfortunately, they basically don't use it at all, and they decide to do the slide fight instead. I think it's a missed opportunity. If they used both the scaffolding and the slide, this could have been a standout Avatar fight. Another blink and you'll miss it. This shot actually shows Ty Lee jump down to a lower floor before she punches Sokka in the foot a few seconds later. Sick block, Katara. Seems a little needlessly complicated, but still, sick block, I guess. Even though I'm disappointed they didn't use the scaffolding more, the slide fight idea is still really cool, and one that feels organic to the world since we set up the slides almost an entire season ago now. So this shot, it shows Azula definitely within the tunnel of overhanging beams already, but in this next shot, when Aang cuts them all down, she's not even close to them yet. Odd that Ty Lee opts to use just the take your bending away pressure points here instead of the full-on make you not be able to move your body pressure points. Seems like one is just objectively better.
How are you gonna fight without your bending?
I threw that shit before I walked in the room!
Never mind, this is the most accurate use of bending in the entire show, easily. Holy shit, I know Boomy's playing it off like it's not a big deal, but I bet even he's like, oh my god, that was nuts. Ever notice how Boomy's eyes are two different shades of green? Even back in season 1 too. That's pretty neat, I would say.
That's why you surrendered, isn't it?
Yes, and it's why I can't leave now.
I really don't like what this does to Boomy. I get it, he's the crazy king. He's wacky. That doesn't change the fact that he fucked people over. I still like him, just this was pretty lame of him. Oh, hey guys. This is really nice. I love that Aang doesn't stay and take the credit and try to take some kind of stance on how he's the good guy and May's parents are evil. This is how a real hero acts. So this episode is kind of bad, right? It just feels mediocre. Everything feels really cartoonish, from the fake plague to the Mr. Magoo baby to even May, if I'm being honest. May's far too cold in this episode. It doesn't feel like the May we see in the rest of the series. It doesn't seem like she cares about her little brother being captured at all. This is the beginning of a one-note character, but luckily she does get fleshed out. But I really don't think it's a strong episode for her. Ty Lee does well though. It's different because the audience sees later that that's just the way she is, but it doesn't make her stupid. Boomy, you know, I don't like it, but it is what it is. So yeah, this is definitely not one of my favorite episodes. Patron shoutouts. If you want to be one episode ahead and see the next Overanalyzing Avatar right now, it's available on Patreon for just a few bucks. You'll be one episode ahead of YouTube going forward if you support me on there. Biggest shoutout of all to Fritz Sullivan, who I saw rescue 4 cats from 4 different trees in the same day. That was a crazy day. Other absolutely huge shoutouts go to my other top patrons: Be My Valentine, Code Canuck, Derek Cornwell, DJ Jax, Do Mutual Aid, Garmer, Glintlock, Mana, Nicholas Abbott, Pippin, Parker, Opsicopolis, Glass, Skylo, Super Snipper, and Tiago Nascimento. Next up is The Swamp, which is, let's just say, I can't wait to get to the Blind Bandit. The Blind Bandit's really good.